Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, Book of Carol. So this is part 2 or season 2, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what they're calling it because they're calling it just Book of Carol. So this is the first episode of that. So The Walking Dead is back. I talked about the Daryl Dixon series, when it was coming out, and I overall enjoyed it. There's some stuff that it doesn't hit as hard, but anything that has to do with uh, you know Daryl's character or Carol's now, I'm pretty interested in because those are characters that I really enjoyed from the main series, and I want to see kind of how their story plays out, like we did with Michonne and Rick in the other series. So I'm going to go over some of the details, and I'll talk a little bit more about the episode. But overall, I think this episode was fine. It almost feels like we didn't pick up with the same intensity as I would have wanted on a premiere. It almost feels like this is kind of the middle of the season of like a larger season, right? Like the first part, and this is just the second part. So the tension is not as high because we really spend most of the episode with the characters separated. Whereas I was hoping that we would maybe speed things up a little bit to get Carol over to Daryl, but I mean he's in France, so it's gonna be tough. We do see Daryl training. Oh, I'm gonna go into spoilers, so if you haven't seen the episode, go check it out. But yeah, Daryl is training Laurent as part of his activities. He gets a lot of training, but Daryl's training him to survive with against the zombies. Um, this episode, we spend most of the time with Carol, which a really fun note from the inside the episode, a lot of the stuff was supposed to happen stateside, right, in the US, but it was actually all shot in France. They had Melissa McBride in France for pretty much the whole time. I think they shot the whole series in one go, which would make more sense. And it makes sense why this feels like just another episode as opposed to like a premiere for a season. But yeah, Carol, she's looking for Daryl. She ends up finding out he's in France through some sequence of events where she just kind of like takes out some dudes, shoots them with an arrow. Like, uh, you know, we saw her in the at the end of the last season or the last episode, put some dude in the trunk and just like because she found out he was riding Daryl's bike. So now she's riding around on the bike like a badass. I can't believe the arc that Carol has had throughout this show has been incredible. Not this show in particular, but just the Walking Dead universe. Carol's been through some shit. Um, so we do see Carol. She sees a plane. She follows it. She's trying to figure out how to get to France. And if you have a plane, that's probably going to be the best way to get there. She asks for help. The dude his name is Ash. He's very hesitant about helping her, but he does bring her into his house to spend the night. He goes flying every day, and he just leaves Carol there. So this whole episode is Carol trying to lie to this man to help her to get to France, but she ends up ruining his house when some walkers get in and gets kind of kicked out. But yeah, this whole episode is just Carol gaslighting this poor dude into flying for about an hour. I even wrote that in the notes. We do see a little bit more of Daryl because some people got kidnapped by Janae, who's like the main antagonist over in France, and they're just trying to. He's just trying to get those people back. So I think there's going to be a little bit more conflict throughout the season, especially once Carol gets to the French side. I think probably both parties will come into conflict with the same group. We'll see more of those fluorescent zombies and the burning skin zombies and stuff like that. Um, at the end of the episode, a storm very inconveniently makes them have to depart sooner than they had to because it hits a lightning strike hits a pole, it ignites all their fuel on fire, so they just have to leave. There's a really cool shot of this little biplane. It's just a very small plane. It's like a hobbyist thing, not like a commercial airplane or anything. Of the airplane, we see a zombie go into the propeller, which of course we were going to see that, and then we see uh, the wings of the plane as it's trying to take off, just hitting zombies along the way, which was filmed with like real stunt people. That was a very interesting thing to hear Greg Nicotero talk about at the end of the episode. So yeah, overall, uh, all the stuff with Carol, all the stuff with Daryl, I'm looking forward to seeing how it comes together. This was not the most riveting episode. Like I said, it's really a whole hour of Carol gaslighting this poor dude, and I think things are gonna end up poorly for him, but we'll see how that plays out. So if you're still watching The Walking Dead after this whole time, and I took a long break, but I came back for these little mini series to catch up on my favorite characters. But if you're still watching, let me know what you thought about this episode in particular. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, movie reviews, all that fun stuff here on the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.